Every morning you wake up, you are given a choice, not by the world but by yourself, a choice to rise, or repeat, a choice to lead your life, or let it lead you. The truth is simple. If you win the morning, you win the day. But if you ignore the power of the morning, you keep walking in circles. Nothing changes, because you don't change. The Shaolin teach us, when you train your body, you discipline your mind. When you discipline your mind, you elevate your life. So, what must you do every morning to transform your life? You must start with stillness. Every morning begins the same for all of us, with a moment where we open our eyes and face a silent decision. That moment might seem ordinary, but it carries extraordinary power. It is the starting point of your entire day, and how you handle it sets the tone for everything that follows. In that space between sleep and action, you are given a simple but life-defining choice: rise with intention or slip back into routine. Too often, we choose to repeat. We reach for the phone, we rush into tasks, we let the outside world dictate our inner state. And then we wonder why life doesn't change. But the truth is, change starts in that very moment, when you decide to live the day differently than the one before. When you wake up, you're not just waking the body, you're waking the mind. That's where your power lies. Most people don't realize that they're unconsciously programming their days with the same thoughts, the same reactions, and the same distractions. If you do nothing, nothing will evolve. But if you choose to become aware, to act with purpose right from the first breath, then your morning becomes a tool of transformation. This is where your discipline begins. Not when things are easy, but when the bed is warm, the world is quiet, and your mind is vulnerable. That's when you choose whether you will control the day or be controlled by it. So remember, every morning offers you this chance, a silent invitation to break the loop. The moment you open your eyes is the moment you decide who you will become. Choose with strength. Choose with awareness. Choose to rise. Because life only changes when you do. Stillness is not the absence of action. It is the preparation for powerful action. When you wake up and immediately jump into noise, distractions, and tasks, you miss the most important opportunity of the day, the chance to connect with yourself. Before the world demands your energy, before responsibilities pull you in every direction, there is a sacred window of silence. It is in this space that your true clarity lives. To sit quietly, to breathe with awareness, to be fully present in the moment. That is the foundation of inner strength. This stillness is not wasted time. It is where the mind sharpens, where emotions settle, and where your focus takes root. The modern world has trained us to move fast, to stay busy, and to equate speed with success. But speed without direction leads nowhere. Stillness gives you that direction. When you sit in silence at the start of the day, even for just a few minutes, you're not avoiding life. You are mastering it. You're taking control before the outside world tries to do it for you. You're stepping back from the noise so you can hear your own voice more clearly. That voice, the quiet one within, is often drowned out during the chaos of the day, but in stillness, it becomes your guide. Through breath, you bring awareness to the present. Through presence, you bring order to your thoughts. And through order, you build strength. Strength not to react to life, but to respond with clarity and calm. Every great warrior, every wise leader, begins not with shouting orders, but with inner balance. That balance is found in the stillness of the morning. When you make this a practice, you don't just face the day. You command it with presence and purpose. The body holds energy that most people never fully access because they remain disconnected from it. Each morning offers a chance to awaken that energy, not through aggressive exercise or exhaustion, but through mindful movement. When you begin your day by moving with intention, you signal to your mind that you are alive, aware, and in control. It's not about intensity, it's about presence. Simple actions, stretching, walking, breathing in rhythm, become powerful when performed with awareness. This is not just physical activity. It is the language between your body and your mind. It tells your system that you are prepared, alert, and focused. In martial arts, every movement is deliberate. Every step is done with purpose. That same principle applies to your mornings. When you move with attention, you activate not just muscles, but discipline. You are not rushing through the motions. You are honoring the body that carries you through life. This practice connects your internal energy with the physical world. Your breath becomes the rhythm, your movements the expression of calm control. It becomes a moving meditation, reminder that you are both grounded and capable. The world outside is often chaotic, but you don't have to carry that chaos within you. By engaging your body first thing in the morning, you prepare yourself to face challenges from a place of strength. The goal is not to achieve perfection, but to develop a habit of presence. Movement is a teacher. It reveals your tension, your resistance, and your habits, and it gives you the chance to change them. When this becomes your morning ritual, you don't just feel better physically. You carry a sense of calm command into everything you do. That is how warriors rise. That is how transformation begins, from the inside out. Lasting transformation is not the result of a single dramatic act. It is the outcome of small, consistent rituals practiced with devotion. Too often, people search for a breakthrough moment, believing that change comes from something big and immediate. But the truth is far more grounded. It is the quiet commitment to doing simple things every morning, over and over again, that creates real progress. These small actions may seem insignificant at first. A few minutes of breathing, a short stretch, a mindful pause. But repeated daily, they shape your mindset, your discipline, and your identity. Every great structure is built brick by brick, and your life is no different. When you create a morning routine rooted in presence, awareness, and purpose, you are laying a foundation that is strong and steady. These rituals don't need to be complicated. In fact, simplicity is their strength. What matters is not how impressive they look to others, but how consistently they are done. It's in the repetition that the power is revealed. The world celebrates results, but it is your quiet routines that lead to those results. By honoring your morning rituals, you are sending a message to yourself that your life matters, that your time is sacred, and that your growth is non-negotiable. Over time, these practices become part of you. They stop being things you have to do and become things you are asterisk. That shift from action to identity is where transformation lives. You don't rise all at once. You rise slowly, steadily, with each deliberate morning. And one day, you look back and realize you've become someone entirely new, not because of one moment of motivation, but because of the discipline to return to your practice every single day. That is the quiet power of small rituals. Every day should begin with a question: what is my purpose today? This is not a vague or philosophical idea. It is a compass. Without clarity of purpose, your actions drift, your energy scatters, and your time is wasted. But when you begin your morning by setting a clear intention, your thoughts, decisions, and movements fall into alignment. This simple act of reflection gives you direction. It reminds you that the day is not something happening to you. It is something you are shaping moment by moment. Purpose is not reserved for grand goals or far-off dreams. It lives in the small, daily choices that build your character. Discipline is the silent force behind every meaningful transformation. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. It simply shows up, day after day, regardless of mood or motivation. When you choose to discipline yourself every morning, by getting up on time, sitting in silence, moving with purpose, and setting your intention, you are making a statement to yourself and the world. You are declaring that your growth is more important than your comfort. This is not about punishment or restriction. It is about freedom. True freedom comes from self-mastery, and self-mastery begins with consistent action rooted in discipline. Many people wait for the perfect time to change. They wait to feel inspired, to feel ready. But those who understand the power of discipline don't wait. They act, and by acting, they create the very inspiration others wait for. Each disciplined morning becomes a training ground. You're not just preparing for the day, you're preparing for life. You're building the strength to face uncertainty, to handle stress, to pursue your goals with clarity and calm. This kind of strength doesn't come from reading or wishing. It comes from practice. There is a moment each morning when you're tempted to slip back into old habits. That's the moment that defines your path. Will you give in to ease or rise with discipline? That quiet decision, repeated daily, becomes your identity. Over time, the person who once struggled to stay focused becomes the person others admire for their calm, consistent strength. And it all begins with discipline, applied not once, but repeatedly, until it becomes who you are. When you honor your practice no matter what, when you show up with resolve every single morning, you no longer chase transformation. You become it. When you wake up and take a moment to define what truly matters, you eliminate distractions before they begin. You no longer react to every demand or chase after everything that calls your attention. Instead, you move with focus. You speak with meaning. You act with conviction. This is how momentum is built. One deliberate step at a time. Clarity gives power to your actions, and power without clarity is wasted effort. The difference between a scattered day and a successful one often comes down to this moment of intention. You don't need to write a long list of tasks. One clear objective is enough. Maybe it's to be patient. Maybe it's to complete a project with excellence. Maybe it's to listen more than you speak. Whatever your intention is, hold it firmly. Let it guide your behavior. Let it shape your attitude. Each morning, ask yourself, who am I becoming through the way I live this day? When you answer that with honesty, your life begins to move in alignment with your deeper values. That is how ordinary days become extraordinary. That is how purpose becomes a way of life.